faculty, and guests. Thank you all for joining us in celebrating the long-awaited graduation of the class of 2015. The students you see here today have been waiting 4 long years for this moment. We would like to send out a special thank you to our parents and guardians who have been the support system for each one of us throughout our time here at North Star. Without you, many of us would not be attending the wonderful colleges and universities we chose. You kept us focused on the end goal even when we could not see it for ourselves. I would also like to give a special shout out to my family. I wouldn't be giving this speech if it weren't for all of you and my middle school and high school teachers supporting me and keeping their expectations high. Class of 2015, we made it. For many of us, our journeys began in different places. Mine started at North Campus. Others began at downtown campus, or even other middle schools. But those various starting points make no difference. It's not about where the journey begins or ends, but the growth that comes from the journey itself. Now, you would think that writing this speech after 8 years would be easy. I would be able to talk for hours about our wonderful memories and the joys of finally becoming North Star alumni. However, as I sat down to write, I soon realized that it would be impossible to encapsulate 8 years of education, both in and out of the classroom, in a brief speech. I watched and read great speeches from other valedictorians and even a commencement address from the president himself. But I realized that the experiences of others could never really speak to how our high school truly changed us as people. Although words themselves cannot fully capture our careers at North Star, music can often be the bridge between words and emotions. So now I hope to take you on a brief journey through the playlist of our high school careers. Ashley, Faith, y'all need to sing these songs, okay? All right. Let's start at the intro, freshman year. We were just beginning, and although it was a big transition, we already had our middle school friends to flock to. Within weeks, however, we started to harmonize together. We saw how close new friendships could develop. Downtown and Clinton Hill quickly became one. We were up all night, struggling together to finish homework, and by the end of the year, we could all sing, "Man, I love my team, man, I love my team." Freshman year was the year we realized we weren't getting anything handed to us, but nothing was too difficult to overcome, especially with our peers there to help us. This is the kind of community spirit we should replay when we are once again the youngest members of our new communities. As we progress through sophomore year, I can't help but think about Mr. McCluskey's introductory speech, that the word sophomore translates to wise fools, and we were just that. Now the tempo was beginning to pick up. That sophomore project, our rite of passage, was rough, but we persevered. This was not our first challenge and will not be our last. So when we are faced with difficulties next year, keep in mind that we have the tools necessary to conquer any problem. And if you ever forget, look to the people around to remind you. I remember walking down Central Lab with Imani and Brianna singing "Tonight We Are," yes, that one. But don't forget that we are young. We're learning from experiences and people around us. Although we are finishing high school, we are only beginning a journey to fulfill our potential. We have our entire lives ahead of us, not only to finish college, but to make a change in the world. Then came junior year, the bridge. We were finally upperclassmen. Our friend circle solidified. Go best friend, that's my best friend. And it was time to get serious about SATs, resumes, and personal statements. We couldn't have done that without Mr. Rametti and the rest of the great college studies team leading us along the way and continuing to help us even as we head off to college. Junior year, we learned our friends and our teachers make up a strong support system that we can always lean on in times of need. This became a reality for us as going into our senior year, we lost a dear friend, Eustace. Although this was a tragic loss, our community came together, stronger than ever before, proving that when faced with the impossible, we have each other to depend on. His memory will live on forever through us and with us. As we move into adulthood, this is the kind of community we'll need. Now it seems we press fast forward to the end of high school, our outro senior year. This year, we finished our academic studies at North Star. We finished with some of the same teachers we started with in 5th grade, Mr. Taubman and Mr. Pollock, and we finished that Seton Hall project. We finished filling out college applications and FAFSA and CSS profiles and standardized tests. We finished North Star. We are survivors. Tajane, Tamia, y'all made it. Squad, Jordan, Nia, Carl, Faith, we made it. Chalo, Shabbat, Jay, Shaquan, I'm so proud of all of you guys. David, Omar, I can't name everyone, but if I could, you know I would. Your names come anyways. While we may move on to make new friends, we will always be a family. We persevered through 4 full years of North Star, and we really do make beautiful music together. With all that being said, I urge you to take some time to toot your own horn. Be proud, you did it. And of course, I have to admit, it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Especially when these past 4 years have been shared with my North Star family. When college starts to get difficult, when it gets harder and harder to stay focused during lectures, or you feel discouraged, remember you're not alone. You can always listen to the mixtape of our years together as you create the soundtrack of your life.